March the 8th, 2014, TRN. The United States has developed a spectacular new military asset in the skies over the Ukraine. The craft made its presence known on March the 6th in broad daylight, and it so baffled media and local residents they called it a UFO. Since the craft has now been publicly seen, TRN is pleased to be able to report the development and deployment of the new Sky Dreadnought. Video of the craft over Ukraine and further details as below. The Sky Dreadnought is the most advanced military weapon system in the history of human existence. Nothing on the face of the earth can even come close to comparing. The ship, a long cigar-shaped craft, is almost 3,000 feet in length, about the length of 3 aircraft carriers. It flies by virtue of a gravity manipulation system, allowing it to operate at any altitude, even into space, and return, without need of jet engines, propellers, massive fuel tanks or rocket engines. All this is achieved by the manipulation of Earth's gravity, which for all intents and purposes affords unlimited motion possibilities. Since the craft manipulated gravity, there are zero gravitational effects upon the crew or systems inside the craft. Instead of the craft moving despite gravity, gravity itself moves with the craft. This means the craft can maneuver at previously impossible speeds and angles without the crew suffering any G-forces. While its maximum speed is classified, TRN can report the Sky Dreadnought can easily travel in excess of 10,000 miles per hour inside Earth's atmosphere, or stop and hover, all of it totally silent. Not only can it achieve these amazing speeds, it can do so almost instantaneously, making the craft totally untouchable by any weapons system on Earth. It cannot be tracked by infrared or heat-seeking weapons. These nanettes are not only part of the anti-radar features of the craft, they're also part of the defensive light-bending visual stealth. Cannot be tracked by infrared or heat-seeking weapons. These nanettes are not only part of the anti-radar features of the craft, they're also part of the defensive light-bending visual stealth, communications and weapons systems. For communications, other nanites direct all electromagnetic emissions to the sky, making it impossible for ground or air-based radio tracking or communication interception. As to weaponry, the Sky Dreadnought does not use any conventional weapons. All of its weapons are a type of pulse plasma beams, which when seen by the naked eye appear to be bluish-white, focusing bolts of lightning. The weapons were first used on an experimental basis in the Second Iraqi War, where prototypes were tank-mounted and were seen melting cars, trucks and buses to the shock and horror of the Iraqi troops who witnessed them. The weapons operate 360 degrees vertically and 360 degrees horizontally, without any blind spots. Nothing can escape the craft's weapons, and no man-made object on Earth can withstand being hit by the beams. Metals turn molten and melt in seconds. Concrete is reduced to powder instantly. Human bodies shrivel to burnt, melted hulks, the size of infants, in less than 1 second. If attacked, the system on board the craft can engage a staggering number of threats simultaneously. Literally thousands of attacking targets can be wiped out of existence before they even get close to the craft, while the range of its plasma weapons is classified. TRN can report the craft has the ability to attack any target from horizon to horizon, no matter the altitude of the craft. Given this ability, there isn't a weapon on Earth that can be launched or used against the Dreadnought without the attack being detected and destroyed. Making the craft all the more amazing is that once its weapons are used, the area in which they were used is completely safe to enter. No long-term radiation or other health hazards exist. This being the case, the craft can go in and utterly flatten an entire country, and the area it conquers will be ready for repopulation and redevelopment by the United States immediately after the confrontation. Believe it or not, the craft is based in an underwater base in an ocean. The craft can operate underwater, but there are still some unresolved issues in using its weapons while it's submerged. The weapons work, but anything else close to the area they are also affected by the dispersion of the plasma, which has unintended consequences for innocent life forms in the area. It took more than 25 years and literally trillions of dollars to develop this craft. Those claiming the Pentagon cannot account for trillions of dollars can now figure out where that money went. An American world order. You've heard of the United States of America. Get ready for the United States of Earth. There will be a new world order, and it will be American. The presently existing nations of the world have proved themselves uneducated, petty and barbaric. They have lost the right to be sovereign independent states, as will be displayed shortly in Crimea. Once Russia misbehaves too much, and it is utterly humiliated when battle begins, the one world government that's been in the works in the UN will suddenly turn out to be American, because the rest of the world will have no choice. 5 days ago, when this website ran a story announcing the deployment of US aircraft carrier strike group towards the Black Sea over the Ukrainian situation, many were critically claiming it to be a hoax. Yet days later, the carrier strike force appeared off the coast of Greece. The final paragraph in that story stated in part, the US is also deploying another weapons system which has been successfully tested, which can knock the S-400